Listen to what he's saying. All of these whistleblowers coming out, and what are they telling people? They're telling people that all of these things have been a setup, but what people are not questioning is why. What is the setup supposed to lead to? That's what they need to question. Now, there's a lot of different variables we could take into account, but what I focus on is the new financial system, right? Now, this has everything to do with it. This executive of Silvergate Bank says, what are they saying? They're saying that it's not their fault they collapsed, and I agree with that. They said the Fed was involved, the OCC, the FDIC. They were at fault for the collapsing of these banks, which means what? They collapsed them on purpose. Wait a minute. You might say, Mick, what's making you say that? You didn't see the articles that came out? This executive of Silvergate Bank claims that the regulators, the Federal Reserve, they name FDIC, OCC, that the regulators' sudden change. Why would there be a sudden change? Well, wait, sudden change in attitude towards the company's crypto-friendly business. See that? At that time, the big businesses weren't ready to get in position just yet. At that time, they were still in that phase of bringing crypto to its knees in order to rule over it. And anybody that was involved heavily was going to be affected greatly. Listen to what he's saying. The executive claims that the regulator's sudden change in attitude towards the company's crypto-friendly business model was a major contributing factor to the bank's downfall by withdrawing their support. Withdrawing, which means the support was there first. It has to be there for them to withdraw. But what caused the sudden change? See how they leave that gap there? They leave it to us to figure out, but he's telling the people, hey, listen, they were supporting us. Then all of a sudden there was a sudden change. That means there was a setup. There was an outside catalyst. The people need to ask, what was the catalyst and why did it come to be? It came to be because there's trillions of dollars, quadrillions of dollars on the line that someone's going to make, that someone's going to come into possession of, and they want it. So anybody that stood in the way of that, of them conquering crypto, which is what you see now, had to go down, which also tells us what? That the idea that those trillions will flood in and those quadrillions will flood in over time, that's more real than people could fathom. The big companies know that for sure. That's why they're willing to do whatever it takes, even taking down banks. Wait a minute. It says their crypto-friendly business model was a major contributing factor to the bank's downfall by withdrawing their support. And he's in addition to all of that, and they created this a hostile. No, you're like, oh, Mick, you're saying it like that for a reason. I want these vibrations to carry. And creating a hostile regulatory environment. The FDIC, Fed, and OCC allegedly forced Silvergate to file Chapter 11. Right. All of these whistleblowers coming out. Now, wait a minute, because this goes right into the next thing I want to cover here. The new financial system is taking form, and you got to look at all the different aspects of it, right? So then we have this aspect, which they're letting us know clearly, whatever people believe the legacy system in the West was, one, SWIFT as a representative of them is no more. It cannot be. Too much fragmentation. There's too many other powers rising, seizing the opportunity to acquire power themselves. SWIFT is over as you know it. They're going to need, well, you already know they need us. They have Chainlink, right? But wait a minute. What is this? The BRICS, look at this article. Look how these articles are telling. The BRICS to challenge G7 established international order. Listen. It's the idea. Don't look at the technology. It's the idea that's there, and it's not going to leave. It doesn't matter what they use. They could use anything. They could use blockchain. They could use Hashgraph. They could use something else. It doesn't matter. It's the idea. They are of the mind they no longer want to use Western systems. They're claiming, this is what they claim. We have to see what they actually do. They're claiming 150, what was it? Wait, let me give you the right number. I'm going to give you the right number. They claim 159 nations may adopt their, I'm going to say, ideas, which go along with the ideas come first, right? And then the deployment of technology comes second. First, you have to get the people on board with the idea. So that's why I'm just going to go with the idea, because right now, what they want is just to get away from Western systems. And that includes SWIFT, which means what? Western systems will be highly, highly siloed. Now, the regular people in the West are going to say, oh, that's not going to happen. We don't want that to happen. But the higher powers in the West don't care because they make money from the East or the West. All the top people are all in bed together, all shaking hands and making money together. That's what the regular people on the ground don't get. The regular people on the ground are too busy distracted fighting each other, while the people at the top have made it that way. They've created the conditions for that. But at the top, they're all eating together, for lack of a better word. 159 nations. But wait, let's go back to this article here. Everything's getting exposed. It says tools to challenge international order. They have a few. Pay close attention to this. BRICS is launching 3 strategic initiatives. By the way, before we get into this, I want to read this here. And yes, sometimes I jump around. It's just the way that I think and operate, depending on what I believe is important. I want to let you know where this is coming from so you take it serious, okay? This is coming from the Foreign Policy Research Institute. There's no way anyone writes this off. Once again, the Foreign Policy Research Institute.org, all right? FPRI.org. But let's scroll back down now that we established this is serious business, all right? BRICS is launching 3 initiatives that aim to challenge the established international order: an AI governance framework, 1, an independent economic system, and that is one of the major aspects too, and regional security coalitions, 3. All of this is major, folks, especially when it comes to the new financial system, because it glues everything together. If this world wants to continue to move forward anywhere near what it used to do, what it used to be, it will need interoperability. It will need intermediaries that are neutral, really neutral. It will need to be able to access value anywhere and move value anywhere at the drop of a dime. It says, like many organizations, BRICS has recognized that AI is the next frontier in technology, with the potential to enhance productivity, safeguard national and domestic security interests, shape public discourse, and intensify competition. At the last BRICS summit in South Africa, August 2023, Chinese leader Xi Jinping announced the creation of an AI study group with the goal of, quote, developing AI governance frameworks and standards with a broad-based consensus. One of BRICS' primary objectives is to establish an independent payment system using, remember who's saying this. This is serious. People like to write things off. It doesn't matter what you want to believe. It matters what reality is. Life is not about what we want. It's about what actually is, right? You could believe a rock is a sponge all you want. It's a rock. I'm just telling you, right? So let's keep going. It says establish an independent payment system using member currencies to promote de-dollarization, thereby diminishing the impact of Western sanctions designed to uphold sovereignty, freedoms, and all right, that's all. That sounds good. That sounds good. The first, I don't see any of these countries. Well, let's keep going. The first step of this process is the attempt to influence specific vital international markets to gain economic leverage. That's not that difficult. One example of this new strategy is BRICS' involvement in the energy market, with the organization aiming to create an energy partnership with its members. Of course, we covered that greatly. Now, methods to halt the advance of BRICS. That's not going to happen. Like I said, here's the thing. You can't stop an idea. It lives on, even if it becomes quiet. So now what do we have? We have a highly fragmented world, right? Highly fragmented, where the West is losing power with each day. Number 1, literally. Number 2, the image of the West is greatly sullied. So they're not going to have that type of bargaining, especially with certain activities that are going on right now. They're not going to have that type of bargaining ability in future time. They won't be able to stand on that whole heroic and I'm better than you type of they won't be able to take that type of position. There's just not going to be possible. So the rest of the world will continue to move into a position where it brings the West into a negotiating position. Hey, we all want to survive. This is what we're doing right now. if we continue on this path, is mutually assured destruction. How do we go about this? And we all know that's a new financial system. Hey, we have a neutral system that all of us can use around the world. We all have control over our own systems, which will mostly be regional. It'll be a bunch of regional offerings that are all stuck together, glued together. And then the new financial system glues them all together. You're going to have a mixture of different companies congealing their technologies together with interoperability like Ripple and Quant. Quant has Overledger for Ripple. Then you have the whole Flare, wanting to do smart contracts and bring more liquidity or interoperability to XRPL as well. So then there's a connection there. Look at that connection. Quant, Ripple, Flare, Songbird. You have all these different connections here, right? Then Songbird is trying to bring smart contracts to Bitcoin. So then you have that connection there. You have these new groups that are forming where you have like Ripple and Hedera and a few other of these groups that have been coming together for regulatory reasons, technological reasons. There's going to be a lot of gluing together of them because they understand the power that they have together, that the system was always supposed to be one. We said that from the beginning. And that's what you're going to have here. So now let's move into this here, right? This RWA. Why are they all saying this at the same time? All this flows one into the other. Very important. They're telling the people, but is anybody listening? There's no reason they would all come out and say these things at the same time if it wasn't for a purpose, if it wasn't something that was significant. Look at this. You have this article here. Chainlink's Sergey Nazarov predicts asset tokenization will transform Web3. So now we have Chainlink representative saying this. We've had Ripple say this. We've had Ripple talking about RWA at different times throughout this year. BlackRock's talking about RWA. And we have another one coming up after this talking about it as well. It says trillions of dollars. This person sounds like me, which tells you we're on the right track. Trillions of dollars will flow into Web3 once the details of the Internet of Contracts are worked out. Trillions. So now it's not just, Alphaneem's just he's saying it. Some people try to write you off if you're the only one saying things, as if everyone who discovers something didn't say it by themselves and walk the path by themselves at first. A lot of people call Einstein a fool, and teachers told him he would, I heard this once. I don't know if it's true, that teachers told him he was an idiot or something like that. And Einstein was one of the most brilliant people on earth. A lot of people wrote off Stephen Hawking in the beginning. And Stephen Hawking was brilliant. Sometimes you got to walk the path by yourself. And I've been telling people for years, these trillions are there. Yes or no? Yes, I have. Now you're hearing other people say, you got BlackRock telling you, right? I've showed you documents from a lot of different reputable corporations telling you. Now you have Ripple telling you. Chainlink's leader is now telling you trillions of dollars. It's the truth. I don't know when. I just know it's there. And I just know I want to stay until that comes so I can see what's going to happen. I'm here to make big money off these companies. It says here, the value of tokenized real world assets will exceed that of cryptocurrencies on Web3 in the next few years. This is what he's saying. Chainlink, he's telling. Like I said, next chapter, we have another one telling the same thing around the same time. Why? Chainlink co-founder Sergey Nazarov said in his keynote presentation at Token 2049 in Singapore on September 18th, that surge of value flowing from traditional finance will drastically alter the nature of the blockchain industry. I probably should have covered this article first. It's so explosive and powerful. And it's getting me fired up. I like to do those first typically. Next time I won't make this mistake. I'll put this type of article first in the video. Quote, this is the role I think we should all be preparing for. Sergey, I've been telling people, Sergey, Mr. Nazarov, I've been telling people. They don't see it, sir. Here's a flood waiting. There's no guarantees in anything, but there's no guarantee. It's there. It's there. Not financial advice. Make up your own mind. But I'm telling you, do your research. A lot of you are great researchers out there. I know a lot of you already know this, but look at that. It's right there. When it's unleashed, things will go very quickly. That's not a joke. That's not an exaggeration. I just don't see any way possible that a lot of these utility coins that are going to be at the forefront of RWA. And remember, for now, I'm putting interbank payments to the side. That's still huge. B2B cross-border payments, that's huge. But we're putting that to the side. Just specifically looking at RWA, that's huge. You mean to tell me trillions of dollars flooding into things right now that are at a super low price? That's not going to affect the price and make them skyrocket? Of course they are. And I feel like anyone that says different has an agenda, right? They have a reason that they're saying that is not. I just don't see any way around that. But anyway, let's go. Let's keep going. Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol, CCIP. And listen, so many people, they look at these things with a one-dimensional mind and to each his own. But Chainlink is not going to be the only one. I have Chainlink, I have Quant, I have Flare, I have a bunch of different interoperability utility coins. I've been stacking for a long time, hard, working my tail off. It wasn't like it was easy. I've been working my tail off and stacking, just like a lot of people out there working their tail off, right? You go out there, make that money, and then we say, okay, we want this thing here, and we put our value into that. We work for it. But some people, they look at this. I saw some things recently where people were talking about Chainlink, and they talking about Chainlink as if people only have Chainlink. No, I don't think most people only have Chainlink or only have XRP. I think some people have Chainlink. They have some other things I don't have. Quant. They have some Quant. They have some Flare. You know, they're well diversified in these type of things. But let's keep going. It says because they like to, sort of bring Chainlink down a notch. Well, Chainlink might not be as significant. Why? I don't understand that. They're working with Swift already. They're doing a lot of big things. A lot of other big companies are going to work with Chainlink, without a shadow of a doubt. They look super bullish, super duper bullish in my humble opinion. I don't think anything's going to change that. There's enough value for all of these top coins to win. Not every crypto is going to win. A lot of them are going to go away, but the top cryptos are doing their job. That's why they're at the top. They're doing very well. It says here, may have a crucial role to play in an emerging internet of contracts that will link central bank digital currencies, asset chains, consortium chains, and public blockchains. He added, he knows what he's talking about. I don't always agree with these CEOs, but this right here, he's right on this, in my humble opinion. All right, then we have this here. Look, they're all saying this at the same time. What is this? Look at this. This is coming from Polygon, another one of our original utility coins here. This article is titled, Real World Asset Tokenization is the Crypto Killer App. This is coming from Polygon Executive. Why are all these executives coming out? They're exposing everything. Do the people not see? You got some executives whistle blowing, saying it was a setup. The Fed and everybody set them up. You have other executives letting people know that the information is getting sold, right? You have these executives telling you RWA is coming. What is going on that's compelling these people to tell these things? I don't know, but I'm enjoying every bit of it. I hope they tell some more. I'm going to be truthful with you. According to Colin Butler, financial institutions that don't embrace blockchain technology will lose relevancy and competitive edge. Did you see the video from yesterday? I believe that was the video I released yesterday, was covering something like this. Sometimes I have a few videos I shoot and I just decide which one I'm going to release on that day. But I believe we covered something like this. Look at what he's saying. If they don't embrace the technology, they will lose their relevancy and competitive edge. And what I covered in one of these recent videos was, I think it was from yesterday's video, is someone reputable saying the exact same thing. They were questioning, I'm remembering now. Yes, we did cover it yesterday. It was Amphif. If you didn't see yesterday's video, please go watch it. I was listening to the audio on one of these videos, and it take a little time. They cover a lot of powerful things in that audio. We listen to it. When it starts getting a little deep, like 7 minutes, 8 minutes in, 6 minutes in, that person starts really dropping truth bomb. Go watch that video, share it. It's up to you. I'm just saying. But I'm telling you, it was powerful. It was powerful. And that Amphif representative was saying something similar to this. And that's serious business, in case people want to write off, that was just a Polygon exec. The Amphif people were saying the same thing and more. It was way, way bigger than this. I'm telling you, I'm not joking around, but let's go. Let's scroll on. I wanted to throw that in there. People they can take this seriously. It's serious business. Colin Butler, global head of institution capital at Polygon Labs, believes that real world asset tokenization for institutional clients may be the killer app for cryptocurrencies because it dramatically reduces costs and settlement time, becoming increasingly difficult for traditional financial institutions to ignore. Wait a minute. Let's not, sir, I don't know why you're leaving this out. It also makes it increasingly difficult for them to compete. They can't compete with us. Why do I know that? We covered that article about Hong Kong, and their banks don't want to push that CBDC. Sure, they had to accept it, but they're not pushing it. Their intermediaries let it be known they don't want anything to do with that CBDC. That's two. And the customers, they get the CBDC and they liquidate it immediately. They don't want it either. Three, nobody wants these legacy system offerings. The intermediaries can't make money off of it. There's no money to be made there. They can't compete. Whereas when it comes to us, once again, they can make money in a variety of different ways. They will. And this is why, once again, Christopher Waller of the Fed. Yeah, I'm going to keep bringing his name up. That's significant. I don't want people to forget. Christopher Waller of the Fed said that he believed that not legacy, but he was talking about India should wait on the private sector. The BIS said that we should walk hand in hand with the private sector. Everybody's waiting on the private sector. The Fed out of the U.S. says, oh, well, maybe we don't need a CBDC because of what? What did he say? The representative? He said because of the private sector. We might be able to use a private sector offering. And at the time, then he, in the second part of what he was saying, he referenced stable coins. Remember that? All right. So now moving on here, let's squeeze in. I want to squeeze in a little bit of, let me get this Bitcoin news in before I forget, because I'm getting a little too fired up with the bank coin news, utility coin news. Let's go here. Let's find out what's going on with good old Bitcoin. Bitcoin records major bullish signal, but there's a catch. What's the catch? Volatility, but we know it's going to be there. I told people volatility is going to come. I don't know when. I just know it's going to come. And I'll tell you what else. I was talking about this the other day when Bitcoin went up, right? It cracked 60,000. I don't know where it went. Did it go to 61, 62,000, something like that? All right. What did we also see happening? And this is why I don't trust Bitcoin maxis. I don't. Oh, buy Bitcoin. They always say that. Buy Bitcoin now. Buy a lot of Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin. And then what did we see? Articles come out about Bitcoin maxis who've been holding for a long time, putting up, how would they phrase it? Hold on. Bear with me. Let me see if I have this here. I don't have it up here, but I know you all saw the articles, multiples of articles where Bitcoin wallets that have been held by maxis and whales for a long time, they became active again and moved lots of Bitcoin to the exchange, which typically means that they're going to sell. So that tells me that maybe they don't, but that's usually what happens. Those wallets haven't been active in a long time, and a lot of Bitcoin was moved from them to the exchanges. So they'll probably sell, and then the price may come down a little bit. This is why it's important to make your own decisions, not financial advice. Make your own decisions. And I see that all the time. These Bitcoin whales buy Bitcoin right now. Don't listen to anybody else. Just buy Bitcoin. Like, huh? Wait a minute. But it went up significantly, and it probably will go down right now. The bull run, the real bull run, doesn't look like it started yet. We got a few good catalysts, but it doesn't look like this is the bull run. When the real bull run kicks off, I think you're going to see a much more dramatic rise. And I think you're going to see a much more dramatic rise hand in hand with a media push. I think I feel that way. I do. I believe that. You're going to see a massive media push. Same time that Bitcoin's price is going up, and that's going to make it even more bullish. I just don't see all of those things right now. I don't think now's the time, but that's just my humble opinion. I could be wrong. But let's keep going here. It says here, as noted by popular cryptocurrency trader Josh Alsweeks, I believe that's how you pronounce it, Bitcoin is back above the daily Ichimoku cloud, which could be interpreted as a positive signal for bulls. However, the cloud itself remains in the bearish territory, while the Tenkan Kijun also could point to further downside. Moreover, Alsweeks explained that the previous Kumo breakouts that took place this year did not go anywhere. The term Kumo, quote unquote Kumo, of course, refers to the cloud that is located between span A and B. It says, quote, although this is a certainly more bullish picture than a few days ago, cloud does not yet give its assurance of bullish continuation yet. I can agree with that. That's what I was just saying. I feel like You're going to see a lot of volatility right now. People are buying, not just with Bitcoin, of course. Bitcoin goes up and down. Everything else goes up and down as well. But I also saw massive amounts of buying with XRP being reported. But the thing, and that was widely reported. But what I also saw that wasn't widely reported is a lot of XRP was moved to a position where it looks like they could sell. So there's sort of a balancing going on. We have to wait to see how that plays out, but there's a balancing going on, which doesn't leave me 100% completely in belief that now is the time for the rocket to launch. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like this individual said, a more bullish picture. Yes. But how high is it? Just going to be a continuous upward trajectory right now? I'm not so sure about that. I think it went up a little bit. I think we're going to see it go down a little bit. It can go up again a little bit and it'll go down a little bit. I think that's the time period we're in. Bullish energy, more so, but not enough for a rocket launch. But once again, I could be wrong, but we shall see. We will continue to observe and then we will adjust accordingly. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.